A billionaire spent $2 million to marry a world-class model. However, he fixed the bride on a display platform like a sculpture. Even when holding the wedding, he did not allow her feet to touch the ground. The guests attending the wedding privately discussed, predicting that this marriage would break up within 30 days. This rich man would climb onto the platform to talk with her every day, and this woman was also determined to present her most perfect posture to her partner. Sometimes she worried that her practice of yoga would affect her husband's work, but this man replied that work was the interference to his time of admiring his wife's beautiful figure. Hearing these words, the woman smiled happily. This sentence became the most romantic confession in her heart. Whenever this wealthy merchant returned from out of town, he would always bring her precious gifts from all over the world. Sometimes it was a 10-pound gold bracelet, sometimes it was freshly picked flowers, so she gradually adapted to this kind of existence on the high platform. Whether it was trimming nails or daily life, all of Amy's activities were completed on this platform. The wealthy merchant even specially moved the workbench into this room so that the two could look at each other, but the result was that he just casually gave her a flying kiss. Amy wondered why he didn't bring a gift back today. Amy felt a little embarrassed when she heard that, but still said with a forced smile, "Flying kisses are more heartwarming than any gift," but she soon couldn't continue to comfort herself because this man's indifference became more and more obvious. He didn't even bother to look at her. He even omitted the most basic greetings. As soon as he entered the door, he buried himself in handling official duties. Amy looked at the man's behavior of completely ignoring her. She couldn't help trying to initiate a conversation, but the other party always showed indifference, as if she was really just a display item. In order to regain the man's attention, Amy completely lost herself. She went to great lengths to dress herself up, actively played the role of a decoration. But even doing this failed to attract the man's attention again. On the contrary, he even instructed the servants to move his desk to another angle, using the excuse that the natural light on that side was better for eyesight. Amy felt heartbroken when she heard this, but she could only agree while holding back tears. Years of trying to please him had already made her develop the habit of obedience. She couldn't find any reason to refute. She could only take a deep breath to suppress the grievance in her heart, so she endured. For 3 whole years, now she was the only one in the entire mansion. That man had not appeared for a long time. Even the housekeeping staff began to slack off. She shouted loudly on the platform due to thirst, but never got any response. In order to continue living, Amy had to rely on her own strength. She looked down only about 2 meters distance. In her eyes, it was like a cliff. She cautiously dropped her shoes to test. For a long time, she couldn't hear the landing sound, making her nervous and panting. But in order to get rid of this invisible imprisonment, she finally overcame the fear in her heart, plucked up the courage to jump down, instantly landed on the floor. She was like a child learning to walk, painfully crawling forward, relying on the support of the sofa to stand up, then staggered out the door, suddenly pulled open the heavy curtains, swaying her body, walking to the edge of the swimming pool, using her toes to probe the icy pool water. At this moment, she truly felt the reality of being free, excitedly dancing while crossing the corridor. After putting on her shoes, without hesitation, she pushed open the door. Stepping outdoors again after 3 years made Amy's heart surge, like a wild horse that broke free from the reins, happily greeting everyone she met.